Two peas in a pod. Hello everybody, my name is Johansa.
And I'm Serena.
And welcome to the Two Peas in a Pod podcast,
where we discuss all the things that young people care about.
From climate
to music
to pop culture
and local current affairs.
This podcast is for young people.
By young people.
And we are so glad that you are here to join us. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Hannah Murdoch. She is a 17-year-old student in the South Northern Shire. She is a proud school captain of Willoware High School, a school spectacular co-host, an advocate and an all-round superstar. I love her and I know you will love her, so let's get going.
Welcome, Hannah. We are so excited to have you here with us today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here today. I just can't wait.
So, first of all, would you like to give us a little introduction? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here.
Well, I mean, Johansa kind of hit the nail on the head, but I'm just really excited to be here. I want to talk about like positivity and kind of just give you guys some like hot takes and everything, but I mean, I'm not some kind of special young person. I'm like a high school teenager just like anybody else, and so some of the things I say, they're going to be weird and quirky, and we're going to have a good time.
And we'd love to see it. So you are school captain at your school, Willoware High School. So what was it like becoming school captain? What does that entail? What was your, journey to get there?
Well, I mean, we do school captain like kind of differently. So it came down to you have to put yourself forward, obviously, and then if you get through, you have to do a speech in front of teachers and a speech in front of students, and then they vote for like the top 6, right? And those top 6 are kind of the executive team, and then that group of 6 goes forward to a panel in front of like your principal, deputies, all of the head teachers and whatever, and they kind of put themselves forward of why they should be school captain or go for whatever role they want. And it was nerve-wracking. It was horrifying.
You're in School Spectacular as well, so what does that experience mean to you?
Well, I mean, to be honest, okay, my kind of like story is people now, they kind of see me as this like big person who's like out and about, very loud, very energetic, but I was not like that at all. In fact, in like year 7, I was so shy, I was so scared, I cared a lot about what people thought about me, and so I was like, oh, I don't want to do anything like that. And it wasn't until like around like year 8, end of year 8, when COVID finally wasn't a thing anymore and we were actually back at school, that my teacher was like, hey, we host music nights at school to like show off all of our musical talent. I actually think you'd be a really great person to MC it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've never done anything like that before. Like, I don't know if you've got the right person, man. Like, I don't know if that's me. But I did it. And I actually fell in love with it. I'm like, okay, wow, maybe I can speak. And it actually wasn't until my teacher finally saw something in me and she decided to like take a chance and risk it on me that I was like, okay, wait, like I can actually do something.
Did you ever do like public speaking before that?
Not really. I mean, other than like the year 6, year 5, year 3, year 4, like public speaking competitions that you like had to do because they were like graded in primary school, I never touched a microphone, never did anything like that.
Wow.
So me and Hannah, we met at School Spectacular, all for one.
Johansa is beautiful.
Aw, thank you.
Always.
So I remember just like being at the audition. We were fellow co-hosts for the event, so we did like all the speaking, hosting kind of things. And I remember being at the audition and being like, who is this girl? Like, she is so optimistic. She's such, like, I know it's so cliche, but like literally when you walk into a room, like everyone is drawn to you. You literally light the room up. I remember being in the audition, I was like, I want to be her. Like, who is this girl? So I was just like, how is she so like optimistic and so positive all the time? But you know, not everything is always like sunshine and rainbows. No. So what compels you to keep going throughout tough situations, and how did you build resilience and almost there's a beauty in the courage to be optimistic? Mm-hmm. How did you kind of develop that?
Well, I mean, okay, so I have a big thing about like caring for my schools. Like I'm gonna use the word population, but they're not really a population, but like actually just caring for young people. And over the course of my high school journey, and obviously coming off of COVID and everything, I've started to see people just like kind of lose their sense of self. Of like, people actually, especially young people, they find it hard to go out and try new things. And finally, when it gets to like year 11 and 12 and there are all these big opportunities, they're like, oh, I don't want to go for it. Like, I've never done anything like that before. And like, it's year 11 and 12. Like, it's the big year now. Like, I can't do anything like that. And so I kind of looked at that and I'm like, wow, okay, I think that we're kind of a generation that's scared of trying new things. And we're a very cliquey generation of it's like, if you don't fit with the status quo, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Like, what's your end goal here? And I kind of look at that and I compare it to my own life and I'm like, okay, wait, I don't want the people who I encounter to actually continue to live their life like that. I want them to see that there can be genuine like positivity, genuine kindness, genuine laughter and like light and joy in whatever you do after that. And I want them to kind of have that like encounter of just meeting one person that changes their course of action and they can actually go and they continue. I actually want there to be like encouragement in the world rather than just we're all on our own. And I think Australia has a very individualistic kind of style of life. And so we kind of look out for ourselves. We don't really look out for other people, but we're kind of just like, oh, what's on my mind? What's on my radar? But I kind of want to change that. And I want us to actually be a very welcoming community and a very kind community. But more importantly, I want it to be so easy for us to just like kind of lean on one another and inspire one another, because without inspiration, where's the creativity in the world?
That's so beautiful. So, you've come like insanely far. Is there any like key lessons you've kind of taken from your journey into, doing things like hosting school spec? Like, that's crazy. What have you kind of gathered from your journey?
Well, I mean, okay, my family comes from a like kind of lower socioeconomic status, right? We've never had a lot of money, right? But what we did have was wisdom. My dad was always really, really wise. And I remember this one thing he said to me, he's like, Hannah, in terms of music, you can listen to whatever you want. I listen to rock, I listen to heavy metal, I listen to all of that. You can listen to whatever you want. But you also have to be mindful that whatever you're listening to, you're not being consumed by music and what's happening. You have to be careful what you're taking in from that. And so I kind of listened to that and I was like, okay, wait, like there are definitely things that want to take me away from my goals and where I want to be. And I suppose coming from like a lower socioeconomic status, you grow up having more responsibilities than I suppose like the average teenager. And in that I was kind of like, okay, look, here's the thing. Why? And I've dealt with this battle internally of like, oh, okay, I want equity to be such a big thing. Like, why can't we all be equal? But the truth is we're not all equal. And so I've lived that experience and I've been like, okay, well, I can sit here and I can be upset at my situation. I can be mad at my situation, or I can take every opportunity that comes to me and I can roll with it. And I can actually make a name for myself and I can continue to go out there and not only impress myself, but what I'm doing, but hopefully just impress other people so that they can do something similar, something along that lines of like, it actually doesn't matter where you come from. Just take every opportunity and stop caring about what people think of you. Seriously.
And how do you, I guess, not care about what other people think of you? Like, that's almost like a skill, I feel like. How do you do that?
Okay. It's hard to not care about what people think of you. And I was definitely someone that did care a lot about what people thought of me. And I'm like, oh, okay, oh, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? But when you find that thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, or you find that group of people, or you find that clique, or you get to a certain age and finally the cogs start turning in your head the right way, you almost don't have it in you to care about what people think anymore. Actually, suddenly you're so consumed by wanting to strive and continuously reach this goal that you stop giving it a second thought. You stop allowing yourself to have time for that doubt to creep in and like second guess who you are. And it actually starts by surrounding yourself with the right people. I speak a really big game of you need to find the people who are right for you. You need to find people who are going to lift you up. Because at the end of the day, if you are being surrounded by people who are jealous, or you're being surrounded by people who are mean, or they're trying to steal your joy, or you're just being surrounded by comparison, you're not going to have it in you to want to fight for something that's better for you. You need to surround yourself with those people who care and who are kind and who are uplifting. And that's what I want to be to people, even if I've never met them. Because it's like you never know what someone's going through.
That's so important. That's so good.
And can I just say, I think you already are that to a lot of people. So thank you.
So talking about, I know it's very, very daunting for everyone at this age, but talking about post-school, do you know if you want to like continue with hosting and emceeing, or do you have like other passions and interests you'd like to pursue?
So that's actually really funny that you say that, right? Because I have like five career paths I would love to go down.
Oh yeah, tell us.
Okay, so there's like psychology and speech pathology, and they just sound awesome. And then there's like social work and teaching, and then on its own is like communications. But I probably don't see myself pursuing communications, because ultimately my entire life I've been like, okay, I want to be in a career where I'm helping people. That is my final thing. Whether it's like I am a primary school teacher or like a high school teacher and I'm actually building up students as I see them on the daily, or I'm a psychologist and I'm talking to people and I'm helping them figure out like why they are the way that they are, or helping them kind of understand something about themselves or why they've gone through something. I want to do something where I'm using my role in the world to change another person's outlook, I suppose. Yeah. I love using my voice. I love talking. I'm a yapper at heart. The brain rot is real. So it's like if I go into something like that,
so be it. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be like you two, using this podcast to inspire other young people and like bring these fantastic guests on. What? Who said that?
Stop.
No, but you guys are gorgeous.
I feel like being optimistic, like the courage to be optimistic, is almost like a muscle. Like you have to train it over time. Have you ever been through different scenarios that require you to develop the courage to be optimistic, to continue on during adversity? Have you experienced any of those? Would you like to share?
Yeah, no, I'm so down. Look, this is like insight into like 7-year-old Hannah, right? But I used to like sit in the front seat of the car, if that was even allowed, right?
Were you a really tall 7-year-old?
I was a really tall 7-year-old.
I can picture it.
Maybe the cops wouldn't ban that, I don't know. But I used to sit in the front seat of the car, and I used to like pull down that little like visor thing that comes with the car to like block the sun, and I used to like smile in it because there was a mirror, and I'd be like, wow, like I love my teeth so much. Like one day you'll see me on like a dentist advertisement.
Yeah.
And like that'll eat up and that'll be great. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, actually I kind of hate my teeth. Like they're not straight. They're really annoying. And I like to think that like the smile is like the window to the soul or whatever.
Oh, poetic.
Right? And I love smiling. I think smiling is a big part of my personality. And I was like, look, I don't want to smile if I hate my smile. And so I really wanted to get like braces or like Invisalign or something. And my parents didn't have the funds to pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay, shoot. How are we going to do it? Because I really want it for especially senior years. You have a lot of photos taken of you or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, how am I going to do it? And then I got this beautiful job, and it was as a birthday party entertainer, and it actually paid very, very well for my age. I'm like, oh, wow, this is a massive blessing. And so I used that to look after and actually take care of my Invisalign costs. But it was all through the consistent just like trusting and the consistent faith that I would have a steady income coming to me, and just trying to be optimistic about it. I'm like, oh, okay, there's no point worrying about it. There's no point me weighing myself down if I'm never going to be able to do it. Because if I sit there and I think that I'm never going to be able to do it, I'm obviously going to be stuck in this rut of like, this isn't possible anymore. And so I kept going.
It's all about those pathways. So what do you do in your free time? Like, you're obviously an incredibly busy person with so much going on, but what do you do for fun? What do you do to decompress?
Okay, see, honestly, I really love journaling. Something about like opening a notebook and just like writing and writing and writing is so amazing. Because it's like, okay, wow, I could like talk to myself, or I could write it down in a notes app, right? But if you're writing it down in your notes app on your phone, you're still on your phone. And a lot of the time, I'm trying to like decompress and get away from my phone and get away from technology and get away from everything that's like, Hannah, come do this. Hannah, come do this. Hannah, come do this. I'm like, oh, okay, I actually can't do that when I don't have time to rejuvenate and do that myself. But I've also become like really living through like music. You know, like Lewis Capaldi and like
Yes.
Lewis and stuff. They make me feel like I could be like a dancer, but like so like Maddie Ziegler type of like, I could just bust out and like a lyrical right now, and I could get like a full 300 points just like in my living room.
And life is a musical.
Life is a musical.
So do you...
All the world's a stage, guys.
All the men and women merely players.
Look at her quoting. Oh, English teacher would be so proud of
Oh my
you.
god.
Is that an actual quote?
Isn't it As You Like It? So obviously you are quite busy. I can like name off the top of the head all of the things that you do. So how do you ensure that your physical, mental, financial and emotional health is protected throughout all of these things? Like how do you, I know for me, I have a tendency to overcommit myself and then burn out just because of the pure love of wanting to do everything. How do you make sure that that doesn't happen?
Okay, see, the thing is, like, I'm going to be so honest here, of like, sometimes it does happen because sometimes you do want to do everything. You think that you can do everything. And so you start like piling up your plate, especially with like, it's like February right now. And so I like sit there and be like, oh, I can fit all of these things into March. And then you get into March and you're like, wow, okay, I actually can't fit all of these things into March. And I think it's something that I'm learning now of like, you can do everything you want. You just have to do it in moderation.
Yeah.
And it honestly depends on how you like to spend your free time. Of like, what are you, an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Do you get energy by being out with other people, or are you inside by yourself? And you really have to know yourself to, I think, figure out what you can and can't do. And you kind of have to do that almost in a way by actually like testing those limits and like getting up to those limits, I almost think. So honestly, I definitely do have those like moments of burnout where I'm like, look, I can't do anything. Like the world is crashing down, like I'm going to die. But then you kind of you take a step back from the situation, because obviously you're in the situation. Everything's crashing down on you, like the waves of the storm are so big, but you take a step out of that situation and you kind of do something else for a while, and you're like, okay, wait, maybe it wasn't that big, because the storm always looks bigger when you're in the boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
you got to pull yourself out of the boat to actually be like, okay, wow. And you got to clear your head and you can be like, wait, okay, I actually know, I can know how to fix this. I can know that it'll be okay after this.
That's so good. You're Loki, a motivational speaker.
Thank you.
Now, we will be right back after this quick little break we're going to take.
Are you interested in learning how you can help women and children looking for crisis shelter accommodation? Women's Community Shelters is a charity that works with local communities to establish emergency accommodation shelters to women and children in need. Shelters provide a safe place to stay, as well as a range of support services to assist those who have faced domestic violence. You can help by volunteering your time at any one of the 9 shelters around Sydney. For more information, head to www.womenscommunityshelters.org.au.
Every hour, a child in Australia is taken into state care. Like 500,000 others, one of those hours was mine. I'm Jack Thompson, and I was a child in care. Imagine the loneliness for a child. Create Foundation works to stop the loneliness by giving a voice to 37,000 kids in care. You can help a child in care. To find out how, simply visit our website at create.org.au.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Two Peas in a Pod podcast, where we are joined with the lovely Hannah Murdoch. So, Hannah, you're very involved in the local community in your area, you know, in your school. Are there any like special projects or any cause that you're particularly passionate about?
Right, okay. Well, I have a big thing. Okay, 2 years ago when I was in year 10, I got accepted to be like a Hope intern with the Salvation Army. And that was all about making a big difference in your local community, right? And I've always had this big thing about food security and how some people genuinely don't have that option to be secure, like in their food, or they struggle. But the Shire is a very, you don't know when someone's struggling area of like, we're very rich, but there's actually a lot of like poverty and there's a lot of kind of this stuff, but we have this facade that like everything is okay. And so I ended up starting this thing of, we started a food pantry, right? And this food pantry took up this place in Heathcote that is now a fully kind of working home away from home for a lot of the homeless in Heathcote, but it's where people can go to get discounted food, a meal, they can talk. And that all started from my idea of a food pantry. And now Woolooware High School every year. This year we teamed up with Kirrawee High School and we collected donations. We like rallied the troops, if you will, of like all of this non-perishable food and toys for families in need this Christmas. And we piled it all up in one of my P-platers, my actual SRC president's car, and we drove it all the way to Gaimea. Not Gaimea. We drove it all the way to Manai, and we actually helped to pack these hampers for people who were in need this Christmas. And that was so beautiful for us, because we saw this one idea turn into, wow, okay, now it's an actual safe haven for people who need it. After that, it turned into, wow, we're actually involved in helping distribute this out to people that need it. And we started this whole thing on food security. And now I'd like to say that we're slowly getting better. We're slowly getting more open in letting people know that if we're struggling, it's okay to get help, kind of thing.
That's incredible. So what was it like? Like, what was the, I guess, process of creating this food bank? How did you, get started? I'm just really interested in like...
You're so fine.
This is so interesting.
I was with my now school captain partner. We were actually both in the program together. We decided to actually make an actual food pantry of like, I was doing woodwork, he was doing woodwork at the time, and so it was perfect because we were making this like bedside table kind of thing. But I'm like, no, I don't need a bedside table. I'm going to actually turn it into a food pantry. And so we made this little cabinet box thing. It had 4 legs, a perspex like door. You'd open it and close it. And it was so people could give when they had too much and take when they had too little. And we had this whole like launch day for it. And it actually marked the day where they started like bulldozing and revamping the space that they had for it to turn it into like the Heathcote Salvation Army Community Centre now. And that was really big, because it's like, okay, wow, I didn't actually just want to make a wooden pantry, but it actually, my idea started this whole thing. How beautiful is that?
That's so amazing. So do you have any advice for other, I guess, people in the same situation, like high schoolers who just want to help out for a cause? What would you tell them?
To be first things first, get involved with your SRC team if you're not already. And if you've already missed like sign-ups or everything, talk to them, work really closely with them. Talk to your teachers as well, because you would be so surprised at their life experiences and what they've gone through. But most importantly, as much as you might not get on with them or you might not like them, they're actually really, really there to help you, and they're there to look after you. And they're there to make sure that any of these dreams that you have, they come true. But also like look online, because I know that there are so many of these volunteer services like Vinnie's or the Salvation Army that want to take young people, especially like old people get a kick out of talking to young people. And it's like, oh my goodness, wow, like we're 2 completely different ages, but you're so lovely to talk to. So just look around, actually spend some time looking around and just get passionate about it. Honestly, that's my advice. Just get passionate. Really start to care about it and you'll notice a difference.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, that is so good. You're so inspiring.
Motivational speaker, pep talk vibes. Do you have like a mantra or like a quote or a philosophy that guides you through adversity, or just like guides you through your life?
My kind of thing is, people make a big like talk about like, oh, this is embarrassing. and I don't want to do this. This is embarrassing. And my thing's like, it's only embarrassing if you make it embarrassing, or it's only awkward if you make it awkward. Why are you making it awkward? Don't make it awkward and you won't feel awkward. Actually, just learn to live. If someone's going to judge you, that's a thing on them. Don't let what they're saying, don't let what they're talking about, don't let all of this affect you. And it takes a while of like, you actually have to get this really strong sense of self, and you have to be okay with who you are. And it takes a while because you've got to figure out how to love yourself in the midst of everything that's going on. And being a teenager is hard, and nobody talks about it. But being a teenager is really hard. And so it's like, if you can find one thing, one thing that gives you joy, one thing about you that you wake up and you look in the mirror and you say, I love this about myself, and you actually start to believe it, no one can take it away from you. As many sticks and stones as they throw at you, no one can take it away from you, because you have truly believed in your heart that you love this thing about yourself. And once you love one thing, you love the rest of you.
May I ask what your one thing is?
I just love me, to be honest. I used to be like, wow, I'm that tall, curly hair, glasses girl. I'm such a nerd. But now I'm like, okay, I love my curly hair. Now I get to show people how to work with their curly hair. Or like, I love my glasses. Like, it's so funny when I open an oven, they fog up and we all have a bit of a laugh. Or like, I love my height because now, number one, my friends can find me in a crowd. But number two, I can see over everything in a crowd. So instead of looking at everything with a glass half empty, start looking at it with a glass half full. And it's going to take a while, but you'll actually start to see a difference.
That's so good.
Yeah.
All right, unfortunately, we are coming to a close, but I thought before we finish up, we'd do a little My Little Pony trivia.
Oh, yeah.
Because while we were sitting in the studio before recording, Hannah was telling us about her love for My Little Pony. So I feel like we're going to put Johansa and Hannah up against each other, and I will be keeping score.
My competitiveness is going to come out.
I would like to say that I love My Little Pony for, like, its friendship is magic, and if any, like, My Little Pony stans come on this and they're like, she's such a fake, she doesn't know anything. I watch it for the plot.
Watch it for the plot.
For the plot.
plot.
It's got a good plot.
I remember I was so obsessed with just the first 2 episodes where they like outlined the lore. You know, like that first episode where they like
Celestia's like reading a scroll or something, and she's like, once there was a pony.
That one, and then the last one where they like at that last episode where they go to the palace and they like do the whole adventure. I remember I would just watch that episode like over and over. I would never go on to any other season. It would just, so if you quiz me on that episode, I'll know everything. Don't know about the other seasons.
We are going to start with a bit more general trivia, and then we are going to do, I think, 5 really, really specific ones that I will be shocked if you guys know. Okay, so number 1, who created the original My Little Pony?
Okay, I thought we were talking about the show, not who created the show.
Could I get a guess of a year or a decade even?
Sure. Okay.
It was 2000 and...
Okay,
it was the early 2000s.
The original My Little Pony.
The original.
It's like directed by like Lauren Carr or whatever.
Okay,
show.
guys.
That's not the answer.
The year that it was made was like 2012. It was like the
But the
early
original,
2010s.
not Friendship is Magic.
The weird ponies.
The original ones.
They're like really pale and scary. Yeah, I got nothing.
Unsure.
The 80s, early 80s. So,
yeah, okay.
do I get the point for that, or?
I don't know, but...
Which pony is the Princess of Friendship?
Twilight.
Yep.
I was going to say that.
Okay.
I was going to say Celestia, and then I realized it probably wasn't her.
What is the name of Pinkie Pie's pet alligator?
Oh,
I was about to say
oh no, Spike's the dragon.
It's like Gummy.
Yes, it's Gummy.
Well done.
This is crazy.
Like Gummy.
Who is the leader of the Cutie Mark Crusaders?
It's the pink one, the one where she's like she's going to find her cutie pie, and then she asks her friends.
I
like,
will.
I'm pretty sure it's all of
I will tell you. There's actually 3.
Oh, so
yeah, I know there's 3.
Oh,
There's the apple one, the Sweetie Belle.
Apple Bloom, and
Yes.
Scootaloo. There we are.
I'm gonna give you that.
I got that. Okay, you said leader. I'm like, none of them lead it. They share.
No, I think Apple Bloom's the leader.
That's what I thought too, because she has in this later. She like goes on this whole thing of like she's like. It's
She's the
what
one who
my cutie
started it,
mark is,
though.
like, telling me, and she's like, I'm gonna make it on my own or whatever, and she's like off on like a hill, and everyone's like in the town, they've just like let her run off on a hill because she's like trying to find out who she is or whatever.
I liked the Apple song they had. You know that one song that was just the entire Apple family?
Yeah,
Introduced everyone.
Raises Barn. And
Yes,
then, Raises Barn.
so
Raises
good.
Barn. And you could line dance that.
Okay, guys, we're gonna move on because this is getting crazy.
We got introduced to Braben.
Smash.
Who is the first villain to appear in My Little Pony
Oh,
franchise?
Discord. Does he count as a villain?
No, it's the
villain.
sister of Celestia. What's her name?
Oh,
the moon, lightning moon.
No.
And no,
You've Nightmare Moon?
Nightmare Moon.
Who got that?
Me.
I-
She said
no.
lightning moon.
no. But I explained it first. I
Okay.
said Celestia's sister.
Okay.
So
We'll give
I
that
think-
one to your answer.
thank you.
That's fine. It's because I'm winning.
Which princess raises the sun in Equestria?
Celestia.
Princess.
That was Hannah.
She's my favorite.
She's
Yeah,
pretty.
She's gorgeous.
I used to paint her, and she'd be the big one on
Yeah,
my
right.
on
On the
my
wall.
mural. Yeah,
Okay, what villain can turn things to stone with a single...
Discord.
Medusa.
Neither of you are right.
Villain can turn things to stone.
With a single look.
Is it
Oh, is that not Flutter Glare, and she like gets evil? Okay, are you sure it's not
According to this website, it's the cockatrice.
no clue?
Nah.
Okay, well,
I like the song that Pinkie Pie sings when they're in the forest. That like the little like the trees, and she's like.
Oh, she's like, find the fun in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good song.
okay, who is the leader of the changelings?
Chrysalis.
What
Queen
is the
Chrysalis.
changelings?
Okay, that was sad. That was
Oh.
Queen Chrysalis. She's a baddie too.
What is the name of the villain who turned to stone after being defeated
Discord.
by the main six?
Discord.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that's what I was thinking. I knew Discord was associated with stone.
Okay, 2 more questions in the easy category. Which villain is known for being reformed in the later season?
Discord.
No.
Known for being reformed? Are you kidding me? He has this full thing of like Fluttershy's trying to like.
Okay,
trying to make
it's
my
2
friends.
words. One SG.
Sand.
No.
Okay, SG. Oh, Starlight
SG.
Glimmer.
Yes.
I wouldn't count her as a villain. She's just misunderstood.
Make it be known that I started watching Hannah Montana because Hannah suggested it to me. Random, but
Wow.
I had to say it.
And last of the easy round, which pony is a fan favorite due to her cross-eyed appearance and muffin obsession?
DJ.
No, it's the
sorry,
Pinkie Pie.
it's
Pinkie
not.
Pie. It's Pinkie Pie. It's Pinkie Pie.
No,
Muffin
it's not Pinkie
obsession.
Pie. No, it's what's
Spike.
Derby.
Yes, Derby
Sorry,
Hooves.
I was like, I knew it started with a D.
Wow.
Okay.
DJ, no.
I
Sorry, DJ.
can confirm
I
with
smashed her.
a win of 8-1,
Smashed her.
Hannah
Smashed her.
is the winner of the easy round now for the hard round.
Done.
Okay, jokes, guys, they're maybe not that harder. Okay, which My Little Pony character has been voiced by multiple actors across
Applejack.
generations? No,
Are you sure? Because
I'm so sure.
It's
Voice
Twilight
actors like-
Sparkle.
It's not a pony.
It's
not
not
a
a-
pony.
Oh,
They're
Spike.
all ponies.
Spike.
It's
Spike.
Spike.
It's Spike. Because he changes.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you meant like which voice actor voices like multiple ones, and I know Applejack and Rainbow Dash are voiced by the same.
That makes so much sense.
That's what I thought you meant.
Okay, in which season does Twilight Sparkle first become an alicorn?
I actually hate
Third
that
season.
being an Alicorn. I don't want to answer. This
It is the
question.
3rd season.
I loved her as an alicorn.
No, because
excuse
all
me.
of her I fear that all of her friends like they're baddies for sticking through her for that. Like, can't lie, I would have been so jealous that she got wings after being
Oh.
the main unicorn.
I would agree. I would agree.
I feel like I would have been happy for her.
And then she like gets these wings and she's like, I feel useless. And all of the princesses, like Princess Cadence, Luna, and Celestia, have to like sing this song to her. It's like, you'll play your part. And they're like flying around her, making her feel even more small.
Wow.
Oh. I have to rewatch it now. I need to see that happen.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep going.
3 more. Which My Little Pony's character's real name is Vinyl Scratch?
I don't. Oh, DJ. Sounds about
Can you
right.
give me the next 2 like little parts of DJ's name?
No.
DJ.
Turn him.
What does it start with?
P and then a number.
DJ
Pony
Per.
3.
Yeah, TJ Pone 3.
Oh, that was the biggest guess of my life. I hate that.
Okay.
Actually,
What-
Pony 3.
Is the name of Fluttershy's pet bunny?
Oh,
Snowball.
No.
Snowflake.
No,
Muffin cakes.
no,
Fluffy.
no.
How many guesses does one person get?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to come in.
It's something like really cute.
Slightly.
Angel.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I was on the right track.
Oh, that was rude.
And the
Give me a go.
very last question.
I get to start this one.
What is the name of the magical elements that the main
Ellen's tongue.
6...
Wow,
Yeah,
well done.
Hannah's got that.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
So let me count these votes. Hold on. One,
pretty
two.
sure I
In
won
the
mine.
meantime, Hannah,
Yeah.
is there anything you'd like to shout out to our listeners if they want to catch up with your journey?
You can follow me on my. Actually, I don't post on Instagram. Can't lie. I get like scared to post of like, oh, what am I gonna put on? I do post on TikTok though. Post
You're
my
real.
curly hair journey of like, I think that's like _ Hannah Murdoch, and I think my Instagram is the same if you really want to look me up. Maybe.
Now, I can confirm with a win ratio of 11-3, Hannah Murdoch is My Little Pony champion.
Deserved.
Deserved.
Let's give an applause for her.
Now, before we let you go, we do have these 3 fun questions that we ask everyone at the end of every episode. Number 1, what is the greatest song or movie ever released?
Okay, see, musical movie. I'm gonna say like In the Heights.
Yes.
Their songs are
Love
fire.
In the
But
Heights.
recently, I karaoke'd The Other Side from The Greatest Showman.
I love The Greatest
And
Showman.
That kind of slapped. Although I'm gonna be original. I say using quotation marks. It's the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy.
Oh, I personally...
Okay, don't talk to me.
Okay. All right.
Back up.
Contentious, guys.
Back up.
So, if you had a magic wand that could do anything, what would you do with it and why? Only one magic wand.
Only one magic wand,
And you can't wish for more magic wands.
but I have one magic wand that's unlimited magic.
No,
with that
it's
one.
just one thing.
So it's
You
like
can do one thing.
wish on that
You
magic
get one wish.
Yeah, it's like single use.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna say some stupid answer now and then get home and be like, wait, why did I say that answer? I'm gonna be like, oh, I just wish I want everyone to feel okay with themselves. I think that's what I would use it for. Because I think if everyone felt okay with themselves, the world would be completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, in turn, it grants the rest of my wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. Okay.
Lovely.
And our very last question. You've given us a lot of very valuable advice today on the show, but if you could give a last succinct piece of advice to any young person listening, what would you tell them?
Be you. That's so cringe and it's so cliche, but just be you. It sucks trying to be another person.
Be you.
Be you.
Incredible. You know, eventually I think Hannah's going to grow up and write like a self-help book and it's going to have all these quotes throughout it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
it's
great.
gonna be crazy.
They're great. Atomic Habits
Is so good.
I
Atomic
still
Habits
haven't
is
read
so
it.
good.
I kind of refuse to read it because I don't want to be that kind of person. Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like I am that type of person.
No, like not in a bad way, just like kind of person who reads it and then goes around and they're like, well, when I read Atomic Habits.
Yeah, okay, that was really
Ew, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I read only a little bit and then I was like a little bit freaked out because he kept talking about like the 1% better and I was like, that makes me feel like every single time I have to make a decision, I have to like
Yeah.
optimize it. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so
If
weird.
you read a self-help book, make sure you're not consumed by the self-help book. Like, make sure you're okay.
Maybe that's our other piece of advice
That's
for
the other
today's
piece
show.
of advice.
All right.
Well,
On your way out, is there anything else you'd like to kind of tell us about? Anything you've got coming up? Anything we can catch you doing?
Hopefully we're going for spec again this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully catch us on the TV.
Yes.
absolutely.
Hopefully seeing Johansa and Serena by my side because I know they're doing it as well.
Yes.
And yeah,
Let's go. So great.
what this year has in store.
It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming in. It was so good to get to speak to you.
This was Johansa
And Serena.
from the Two Peas in a Pod podcast, joined by our lovely guest, Hannah.
Produced in association with 2RRR 88.5 FM.
We are so glad to have you here with us, but now we gotta peace out.
Peace out.
Out.
That will never not be cringe.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Ciao.
Two peas in a pod.